If you've got a roof over your head, you've got access to food, and you have people who love you, don't waste that solid foundation that you have, because many people don't have that. If you don't have all of those affairs in order, you don't have all those things fulfilled, then you can't create, because your objective should be to fulfill those needs. If you don't have a roof over your head, it's pretty damn important to make sure you hurry up and get one. If you don't have access to food, you need to do that before you starve. So your biological needs have to be met in order to be creative first. So consider yourself very lucky if you're in the position to where you do have a roof over your head, you have access to food, and you have people who love you. Now you can start to create. And the reason why I say don't take it for granted when you have these things is because if you don't create from this set point with that solid foundation, you're squandering away the gift that you do have. Because like I said, many people in the world don't have it. So do things like the idea muscle exercise from James Altucher's Choose Yourself book. You're not going to start a business if you need a roof over your head. First priority is to get the roof, right? So now that you do have a roof over your head, you can start to think of business ideas. You can start to think of content ideas or any other ideas that you want to pursue. And if relationships in your life are shaky, you got to think of it like a skill, right? You can get good at cultivating the right relationships. And this is probably one of the most important things. Don't ever underestimate the ability of being social, or just the activity of being social in general. Like, if you meet the right people, it can open up a whole world of possibilities for you. If you get in proximity with those people and you see what they have accomplished, it is a powerful thing, man. Like, I can think back to when we used to break dance, and I probably said this analogy one other time. You know, when we practiced amongst my friend group in the town that I grew up in, we got good for our town. Like, we could do what other people in our town couldn't do. But when we went to other towns and other cities and practiced and danced with other people that were on another level compared to us, then we came back with even higher skills. So it's all about being in proximity to what you think is possible, because I remember thinking about it like this. Like, I used to see certain moves on video and be like, because back then it was all about DVDs and we would watch the DVD, but we would see it on the DVD and be like, oh, those guys are on another level. There's something that we can't do. But when we would see people that we knew and hung around with every day doing difficult moves, then it was done right in front of us. Now we knew we could do it too. It's something totally different about being there in the flesh. Now, it's the same thing with anything, with business. You know, when you get around people who make more money or do better at sales, it rubs off on you. Do you notice when you hang around with somebody who's always negative and always fighting with other people, then you get agitated and you're in a fight mentality too. That negative energy rubs off on you. Vice versa, if you're around somebody who's positive and uplifting all the time, always joking around, laughing, thinking about possibilities, coming up with ideas, then your brain starts to lock into that too. So I would also encourage you to be the one to do that to other people in your community. Be the one to introduce people to other people. Like, if you know somebody who would be a good connection with another person, make sure you introduce those people. Be the connector. Because people, when they think of you, they'll be like, you know what? So-and-so introduced me. You be the person that introduces important people, and you'll never be forgotten. And then when it comes to them finding somebody that would be a good relationship for you, whether it be business, romantic, whatever, they're going to recommend you as well. There's a synergy that happens in this world. You can call it karmic energy or whatever. But this is the way things work. And also, another thing in regards to that, you got to be patient with people. Nobody is going to be like a superstar. Chances are, every person on this planet has their own flaws. So don't ever be disappointed or angry in people too much. Be careful with those type of emotions, because you're actually being more dishonest with yourself. When you expect somebody else to be perfect or live up to this ideal, you're gonna inevitably be let down every single time. It's an unrealistic view of the world. You know how they say, if you meet your heroes, you're gonna be disappointed? I can't remember how the quote is, but you're gonna basically be let down once you meet your heroes. Whoever it is. Think of an author, an actor, a sports athlete, anybody. If you meet them and you hang around them for long enough, you're going to notice something that you don't like. That's just the way it goes. So this whole thing about holding people to this perfectionist standard is it's a real big trap as well. When you understand this, relationships with other people become more harmonizing. If you get good at relationships, the possibilities are endless. The possibilities really, there is no other avenue for success like building good relationships with people and making the right connections in life. So just have patience and understanding with people. And always remember that you gotta be the change that you wanna see in the world. And when you do this, like, you focus on improving yourself. Not so much to be a perfectionist with yourself either, but to the point where you're improving yourself and making the right changes to be the change that you want to see. So let me share an interesting exercise. You draw a circle on a piece of paper or a whiteboard or a chalkboard. You write down what you want to do in the center of that circle. Now, around that circle, you draw another circle bigger around that one. And then you make these little compartments. And what you're going to do is you're going to list out the people that you want to affect, the people that you want to have an effect on pretty much in your community, in your immediate circle, people that you frequent every day on a daily basis. Could be family, could be friends, co-workers, etc., etc. And write down how you want to affect them. In what way? Next, you're going to draw another circle around that one. It's going to look something similar to a dartboard. You're going to make some more compartments stacked in. The next thing is going to be people that you want to affect that you didn't meet yet. Okay, it could be podcasters, it could be content creators, YouTubers, health enthusiasts, practitioners, authors, public speakers, actors and actresses, business moguls, real estate investors. The list goes on and on. But you're also going to write down how you want to affect those people as well. You see what this exercise is beginning to do? It's beginning to help you think about how you have something to offer. But first you have to start with your immediate circle, because if you can't do it there, you're not going to be able to radiate outward. Now, with that being said, you want to have one more circle around that one. That's the masses. That's basically everybody in the whole world. It could be. And in that final circle, you want to write down how you want to affect everybody in the world. Now, this is just a thought experiment exercise, but it's I think, a very powerful exercise, because it gets your mind centered on the right things. So just try that exercise out and do something. Do little thought experiment exercises like this instead of scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or even YouTube. It only takes 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. A lot of times we scroll on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for an hour straight. in this day and age. That's what we do. So why not take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and really have a well thought out execution plan with these circles? It's going to make you better than scrolling on any social media platform. There's not much you can learn on a social media platform as opposed to going in and finding answers within yourself. Most of the time when we're scrolling, all it is entertainment. We could think we're scrolling for information, but we get snagged up into something that distracts us from whatever we're researching. So come on, just do it. Just do the exercise. There's plenty of other exercises too. Get into the momentum of actually doing things like this. And, I am certain that you will see a payoff from it in one way or another. So, build some relationships, man. Get out in the world. Be a little more social. Approach people. Learn skills. Learn public speaking skills, whether you want to speak in public or not. Do something with your life. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out some of my other videos. Peace. We out of here.